wabarakatuh dan salam sejahtera. Sebelum kita mulakan taklimat pada petang ini, kita mulakan dengan umur kitab Al-Fatihah. Amin amin rabbal alamin. Terlebih dahulu pihak Pusat Asasi ingin mengucapkan tahniah kepada pelajar baru yang berjaya melanjutkan pengajian di Pusat Asasi UiTM Cawangan Selangor, Kampus Bengkel. Saya memohon kerjasama pelajar baru, khususnya mohon anda sertai grup Telegram yang telah kami sediakan bagi memudahkan anda mendapatkan info-info berkaitan pendaftaran pelajar dan maklumat aktiviti terkini yang dianjurkan oleh Pusat Asasi. Link Telegram yang akan disediakan di ruangan chat sebentar lagi. Saya, Encik Muhammad Rizarus bin Tahir, Pegawai Eksekutif Kanan daripada bahagian Hal Ehwal Akademik, bersama saya pada petang ini, iaitu Puan Norhashima Muhammad Sukor, Ketua Pusat Pengajian Asasi Tesl, akan menyampaikan taklimat berkaitan dengan program Asasi Tesl. Diharapkan pelajar dapat fokus pada apa maklumat yang hendak disampaikan dan mohon juga menjaga etika penulisan anda sepanjang taklimat ini bersiaran. Berikan keutamaan kepada mereka yang ingin mengemukakan soalan. Okey. Tadi dah taklimat SCA saya tengok ada banyak, kalau saya cakap sikit lah, banyak saya tengok soalan-soalan yang macam tak ada berkaitan bersama-sama. Kalau boleh fokus pada apa yang hendak disampaikan. Okey, dan saya harap dalam ini semua berharaplah supaya semua pelajar-pelajar daripada program Asasi Tesl berharap semua sekali ada 6 atau lebih tu semua ada kalau boleh. Kalau ingat ada kawan yang dapat sama, kejut dia, bangun tolong dengar. Bukan senang kita tak dengar Puan Syimah bercakap pada petang ni. Petang ni dia. Okey. Jadi tanpa membuang masa lagi, saya menjemput Puan Norhashima Muhammad Sukor, Ketua Pusat Pengajian Asasi Tesl untuk menyampaikan taklimat. Dipersilakan Puan.
Okey, terima kasih. Assalamualaikum semua. Encik Rizal, boleh dengar suara saya?
Okey, boleh.
Jelas ya? Okey, terima kasih Encik Rizal selaku moderator untuk taklimat program Asasi Tesl. Masih setia kita berdua, tahun lepas pun kita berdua, tahun ni pun kita berdua. InsyaAllah tahun depan mungkin boleh lagi sekali kita bekerjasama berdua. Okey, seperti biasa, seperti tahun lepas juga saya mohon izin daripada pihak moderator Encik Muhammad Rizal untuk saya meneruskan taklimat saya dalam bahasa Inggeris. Boleh ya? Okey, saya share dulu slide saya. Dan saya terus slide show. Kalau Encik Riza boleh maklumkan pada saya jika dah slide show ke belum? Dah ya? Sebab saya slide show ni tak nampak Encik Rizal.
Okey, nampak.
Okay, Alhamdulillah. Alright, Assalamualaikum, salam sejahtera everyone, parents, teachers, students. My name is Puan Norhashima Muhammad Sukor and I am the Ketua Pusat Pengajian for Program Asasi Tesl, and I'm here today to give you a bit of a briefing about the Asasi Tesl program. And of course, first of all, welcome to Pusat Asasi UiTM Cawangan Selangor, Campus Dengkil. Congratulations for having secured a place with us here. 685, that's the number that we have as of today, and I hope to see all the 685 on the 31st until the end of the semester, until the end of the program next year sometime in May. Now, my briefing is basically going to be focusing on these two aspects, which are the rules and regulations of the university. Some of which you have heard from just the talk or the briefing given by Dr. Ikwan as well as Encik Harry earlier, but I think I would like to repeat because they are very important. And secondly, I'm going to talk about the Asasi Tesl program itself. All right, let's look at the rules and regulations. But first of all, we're going to look at the academic calendar. I'm going to reiterate what Encik Harry mentioned. Please have a look at the academic calendar. You can see here not only for this semester, but also for the second semester. which will start in January to June 2024. So you basically already know when your classes are going to be, when you will have your mid-semester test, when you're going to have your mid-semester break, and so on. And so you should be able to plan, not just you, but also share this with your family, your parents, in case you're planning to go on Umrah or you're planning to go for a holiday. I understand that sometimes the peak times or non-peak times for you to go on holidays would clash with our classes. But I would have to say that once you are here, once you are registered with us, you're now a university student, and that should be your priority. Okay, so from here you should see, for example, the mid-semester break for this semester is the 25th September until the 1st of October for 1 week. And that would be a good time for you to go for a holiday before you return to us on the 2nd of October. The same thing goes also in the second semester. Your mid-semester break is from the 11th to the 17th of March. That's also another time for you to go for a break with your family members and so on. So it's very important that you know these dates and put it in your calendar. I'm sure if you're traditional like me, then I would have a calendar book where I put all that in. I have all these dates in my book, because I need to keep track as well. And I suppose, I think it is crucial that you do too as students. Or you can put it in your iPad, Google Calendar, and so on and so forth, whatever that you feel comfortable using. But the point is here that you refer to the academic calendar and share it with your family members, your parents, if you plan to go away at times, yeah? All right. This is the course registration checklist, which Encik Harry had talked about earlier. So I just am putting here as a summary what you need to do. Daftar kursus, bayar yuran, validasi kursus, cetak validasi, and cetak slip peperiksaan. These are the things that you have to do from the beginning of the semester until the end of the semester. So keep tabs on the dates given by HEA or HEP, and make sure that you do what you need to do. You don't want to miss the dates because we work on dates, all right? So if you don't adhere to the dates, that can be a little bit problematic, all right? The next one is the Malaysian University English Test MUAT. Also, Encik Harry mentioned this earlier. I want to focus on the fact that this is compulsory for all Asasi students because it is important for university entrance and it is your responsibility. Our responsibility is to remind you, to prepare you for the test, but it's not on us to register. All right, so you need to start registering. In fact, right now, go on Majlis Peperiksaan Malaysia's website, have a look at the date, when will it open. Tomorrow there's going to be a briefing by our coordinator, for MUAT coordinator. And you want to try and register yourself as soon as possible, the soonest you can do it. There are cases where some students, they are not comfortable or satisfied with the results they got. So if you sit for the test early, you can sit for the test again for the next round if you want to improve yourself. And this is important because sometimes, maybe right now for some of you, you've already decided, I want to do the MDS Tesl program and I want to go to UITM. So you can check on the Faculty of Education's website that we need students to have a Band 4. As of now, it's still Band 4. So you want to make sure that you reach to Band 4. So it's important that you sit for the MUAT test. And also important to remember that it is your responsibility. Our responsibility, as I mentioned, is to prepare you and to remind you, which we're going to start doing tomorrow. And I'm doing my part here, yeah? Slide saya bergerak ya, Encik Rizal? All right, let's move on to the third part here, which is the attendance, your attendance to class. You have the 80% attendance requirement, otherwise you'll be given the ZZ status in which you may be barred from sitting for final examination. First warning for the first 10% of absenteeism without valid reason. So you must have MCs if you are not well. We have Pusat Kesihatan here. When you come here, you will see, like what Encik Harry mentioned earlier, it's not a huge campus that is challenging for you to go around. If you need to go to Pusat Kesihatan, it's very near to your hostel, so it's not a problem for you to get MCs. If you have uh, meetings with counselors, for example, you can also get a time off slip from the counselor. So just make sure that every time you cannot make it to class, you have a document to support why you cannot make it to class. Otherwise, then it means that your lecturers would have to give you a 0 for your attendance, and that will be calculated later to see whether you have adhered to the 80% attendance requirement. And as I think either Dr. Ikwan or Encik Harry had mentioned earlier, we have a process that we must adhere to when you do not adhere to the 80% attendance requirement. So please make sure that, remember that this is one of your responsibilities. We are not going to wake you up. I mean, when you come to class, lecturers will ask, okay, where is Ahmad? Where is Fatima, and so on. But we're not going to go to your class. To your room and find out where you are, why you're not up, and so on. This is university life. This is not even like a boarding school. It is entirely on you. All right, so it's your responsibility. It's the onus is on you. All right, so you have to make sure that you remember this 80% attendance requirement. The next one is the extracurricular activities. This is compulsory because you have to obtain the 10% merit, which you require, which you need when you apply for UPU sometime next year in April or May, because all programs, all universities and all programs, when we look at the Asasi Tesl students, we have the CGPA, UPU, and so on and so forth that you had heard just now from Encik Harry. We also have the merit 10%. So you want to make sure that you are involved in all the programs that we have here. There are a lot of programs by HEP. There are also programs by the Asasi Tesl program itself, and the clubs and associations. So you want to join all these programs so that you can get the 10% merit. Okay, it's only, some of you may say, well, it's only 10%, but when you go for an interview, for example, we look at your merit and we say, okay, this person is not really, this student is not really very smart, you've got a 4.0, for example, but your merit is probably just 2 or 3. And then you have another student who had obtained the same CGPA, 4 flat, but with 8, 9, or even 10 for their extracurricular activities, their merit. And of course, we want an all-rounder. We want someone who is not just able to perform or excel academically in class, but we also want someone who are active in their extracurricular activities, because in extracurricular activities, that's where you hone your leadership skills, that's where you hone your soft skills, leadership skills, your collaborative skills, critical thinking skills, creative thinking skills. And these are some of the skills that you can't really hone much in the classes, because in the classes we focus more on the content. So we want an all-rounder. So don't say that, oh, it's only 10%, I'm an introvert, so I'm not interested in all this. There are a lot of activities. You just got to choose which one you think would be suit you best. Now, if you don't have any, then you have to just accept the fact that you have to do it. Otherwise, you might lose out in your UPU application next year. Okay, so that would be the fourth one, which is your extracurricular activities. I hope I'm okay, not too fast. All right, and the next one will be the surveys, also already mentioned earlier, but I'm repeating it. You have to complete the entrance and exit survey. The entrance survey would be at the beginning of the semester. This is for all your codes, and then at the end of the semester, also the exit survey, and then you must also complete the student feedback online, or SUFO, end of the semester, both of which are also your responsibilities. So please make sure that you do all these surveys. All right, and the next one will be Sasya, Rupa Diri Pelajar, UITM. All right, we maintain that you must be professional. This is where you learn maybe you are probably saying, oh, why does it matter what I wear? What matters is what I, how I am in class. I'm listening, I'm taking notes, I'm doing all the assignments and so on. And then it's true, yes, of course, to a certain extent that is true. But whether you like it or not, when you go out from the university and you're applying for a job, the first impression would usually come from how you dress yourself. If you're coming for an interview and you're not living up to how you should look like, to HR, for example, they would look at it as, okay, you don't even bother to put in the effort to look good for this interview. So this is where you practice. Okay, you practice, be comfortable in what you wear. You can wear whatever else that you want to wear when you're not in class, but when you're in class or when you're within the compound of the Pusat Asasi, this is how it should look like, for the ladies and for the gentlemen as well. Okay, I believe HEP had already talked about this in a lot of details. So I'm not going to go into it. Make sure that you adhere to the Sasya Harupa Diri Pelajar UiTM. All right, so now we're going to talk about the Asasi Tesl program itself. We're going to cover several components. So I hope I'm not too fast, and I hope I would be able to give you a bit of an idea of what you're going to start experiencing from the 31st of July. Let's look at the organization structure first. The Asasi Tesl program, primarily, we're here at Pusat Asasi UiTM, the campus Dengkil, and the administration, the implementation, everything is here. You don't have to go anywhere else. All the facilities are here. You've got Pusat Kesihatan, you've got the library, and so on and so forth. So it's all here. But we also work very closely with the Faculty of Education, especially when we talk about the curriculum review, among others. All right. So in terms of the quality of the program, because it is Asasi Tesl, that stands for Teaching English as a Second Language. We have a degree in Tesl also at the Faculty of Education. So it only makes sense that we work together with the Faculty of Education. So we work closely, we collaborate, we review our curriculum, we look at it as how we can make sure that we provide high quality education, high quality courses and codes for all of you while you are here for the 1-year program. If we look at the organization structure here, you probably would have been shown of this. So in Pusat Asasi, we have the director, and then we have the three deputy directors, and then that's where I am. But I'm also here also at the Faculty of Education, working very closely, focusing on curriculum review, the academic aspect of it, Now, what is the Asasi Tesl program? It is a 1-year prep program, 2 semesters minimum. You heard just now from Cik Harry, who talked about SML. You can go maximum 3 semesters. But I'm hoping that you don't go up to 3 semesters. And I'm hoping that all of you would be able to do all the programs, the codes in semester 1, pass them with flying colors, and then go on to semester 2, pass them with flying colors as well. And then, leave us to go to pursue your undergraduate studies. What is the purpose of this program? During the interview, there were times where we asked some candidates, why do you want to join the Asasi Tesl program? And then they say, well, I want to improve my English language proficiency. To some extent, that's acceptable. But this is an in-depth skill-based program. As you know, you have to already have obtained an A in English. So all of you here obtain A in English. So it's when we talk about improving your English language proficiency, we're not talking about trying to improve a B to a C. We're trying to make you go further, higher than the A that you have already received. So it's in-depth. So there's a lot of questioning required. There's a lot of thinking required, not just on part of the lectures, but also on your part, It is also an entry to undergraduate courses in public universities via UPU. And our main objective is to prepare you for the Tesl program and non-Tesl undergraduate programs at UiTM and other public universities. It's an open system. At the end of 1 year, you can apply to go for the Tesl Bachelor in Education Tesl program, which is our main objective. But you are also allowed. Some of you may say, Madam, I am here because my parents want me to be here, or Madam, I want here because I know English is my strength, but I don't know exactly whether I want to go into the teaching undergraduate program. And that's fine. It's okay. And you are also allowed. So later I'll show you where else you can go. But I just wanted to show you that our main objective is to prepare you for the TESL program. So in the curriculum structure, you will see that the programs that we have, codes, the subjects that we have are all geared towards TESL, yeah? So we can't cover all. I know some of you say, I want to go into psychology, I want to go into mass comm, international business, and so on and so forth. We can't cover all that. It's called Asasi Tesl, and that we have to live up to, yeah? Okay. What is our program aim? We believe that you can attain excellence, and the program aims to nurture creative and responsible higher education students for diverse fields of study. Then that's what I meant, diverse fields of study, although our main objective is TESL. But we've got a lot of our students that have gone to different fields and areas of specialization, not necessarily TESL. Because at the end of the day, we all support countries' aspiration to be a developed nation. Now, there are certain things that you need to know why we do things the way we do things. We looked at program aim just now, and then we have this term called program educational objective. So all the lecturers know all this, yeah? When we teach, when we look at the curriculum, we have this in mind. So for example, we have program educational objective. If you look at this one, it says within a few years upon successfully completing the program. So we already know what we want to achieve. And I'm letting you know this so that you work with us hand in hand to go towards the same objective. Our graduates are or will be higher education students who apply knowledge, understanding, and skills in providing solutions to address concrete problems. All right, so there's knowledge, there's understanding, and there's also skills, hard skills and soft skills. This is what we want. We want someone who knows what's in the book. All right, the theories in grammar, for example, or in reading. But we also want someone who has soft skills, leadership skills, collaborative skills. You know how to work individually, but you also know how to work together. That means you have no problem working with people with the same gender, across genders. You have no problem with that. You can excel in different situations with the purpose of trying to solve an issue, right? This is what we want. So you have to think of it this way, yeah? At the end of 1 year, by sometime in May 2024, this is what you should be able to do. You should have already obtained the knowledge. You should have already understood what the knowledge is all about, not just memorizing. And you should have already also honed some skills, hard skills and soft skills. That would be the program educational objective. We have also the program learning outcome. Upon successfully completing the program, our graduates will be able to display competent language skills in English language discourse. I mentioned earlier, this is a TESL program. You may not want to do TESL here right now. Or you're thinking, TESL is what I want to do for Asasi, but that's not something I foresee myself doing in the degree studies. And that's fine. But at the end of the day, it's called Asasi Tesl. And so therefore, that is our objective. And that's why our program learning outcome, the most important thing is you must be competent in the English language discourse. So if you go for a mass comm undergraduate studies, when they look at your Asasi Tesl certificate, they should be able to say that, right, you should be competent in the language. That should then help you perform or excel in the area of specialization of mass comm maybe, or journalism maybe. Okay, so you must make sure that you are the best when it comes to English language competency in the entire of Pusat Asasi. That is what we want. Okay, you should be, because you are Asasi Tesl students. Okay, I hope I'm not putting too much pressure, yeah? Okay, learning outcome. As you can see, it's actually going from general to more specific. Learning outcome at the end of the course. It refers to only one course, and I'm taking one here specifically from literature. Students should be able to apply basic knowledge and understanding of literary elements in literary texts. Okay, so we'll cover several texts. We talk about literary elements. Some of you may find this entirely new because this is literature is not done in schools anymore. So some of you probably find this a little bit overwhelming, but we will guide you. But at the end of the day, we're trying to say that you should be able to apply basic knowledge and understanding of literary elements when you're reading a book. So when you read a book, for example, or a short story, you should be able to say, there are 3 characters here and there are 3 types of characters here. We can also identify the setting. Setting refers to the place or the time where the story takes place. All right, so that is the learning outcome for the whole course for TSL 082, which is introductory literature. And then we have the smallest of all, which is topic learning outcome. At the end of the lecture, students should be able to explain the 10 elements present in literary text. What are the 10 elements? We're going to cover that this semester. It may ring a bell to some of you. We talk about plot, characters, theme, setting, and so on and so forth. So at the end of the lecture, where we talk about 10 elements, your lecturers will ask you, okay, what are the 10 elements? Okay, now we're not just going to ask you what are the 10 elements. Remember, just now we talked about knowledge, but we also talked about understanding. So if one of you were to say, okay, one of the elements, madam, is setting. What is setting? You should be able to explain to us in your own words. We don't really, we are okay with you using the notes that we've given you and answering the questions based exactly, verbatim from the notes that we've given you. But most of the time, all of us will be saying, oh, yeah, that's correct. But what do you understand from that? In your own words, how do you explain that? So understanding is crucial, is essential, is important in order for you to be able to excel in the Asasi Tesl program. Okay, so when we talk about the program, we've got all of that, PEO, PLO, LO, which is learning outcome, and topic learning outcome. So you should know. And so I'm hoping that when you know all this, we'll be able to, when it's a literature subject, you will walk, figuratively, you're going to walk with your literature subject lecturers and go towards the same objective. All right, madam, today we should be able to, you're going to teach us literary elements, and I should be able to understand. Now, must you understand immediately? Of course not. It's okay. When we talk about understanding, of course, you need time. If you don't understand, questions are always encouraged. But at the end of the day, what do we want you to be able to do? Explain the 10 elements present in literary texts. Okay, and so these two will change. Yeah, learning outcomes when it comes to grammar will be different. Topic learning outcome for reading will also be different. So most of your lectures will start off their lectures that way. Their slides will start off with today's learning outcome. Today's learning outcome will be you should be able to explain 3 situations when present tense is used. So from the get-go, you know that's what I need to do. I've got an objective. Pay attention and focus on that. Listen very carefully. If you understand, that's great. If you don't understand, ask questions. Okay, so tak adalah macam what we supposed to do, I don't know what we're supposed to learn today. You've got the learning outcome and the topic learning outcome to guide you. Okay. All right, let's look at the program structure for semester 1. This is what you will be doing. You've got TSL 014, Fundamentals of Academic Reading, 024, Writing, 034, Listening and Speaking, and Grammar 1 Core. These are the 4 subjects just now. If you recall what Encik Harry had talked about, when we calculate your CGPA UPU, we only look at the grades you've obtained from fundamentals of reading, writing, listening, speaking, as well as grammar. What about college study skills? What about introductory literature? What about fundamentals of Islamic education? When we talk about the remaining subjects here, they will be calculated when we talk about the CGPA for UITM. But for UPU, only the first 4. Okay. Am I saying that it's not important for you to pay attention to 051082 and CTU and IDA courses? That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying that you must be aware that when it comes to the 4 core courses, they will contribute to 2 types of the CGPA, but all the other 3-4 subjects only for UITM, right? So you must make sure that from now, if it is possible, if you already know what you want to do after your Asasi program, you want to go into the website of the faculties or the universities where you would like to go and look at what are the requirements. If, let's say, for example, they want you to have obtained a 3.0, that would refer to your CGPA, UPU. Okay, so they want you to get a 3.0. You have to then tell yourself, I must get a 3.0 from my 4 core courses. In your college study skills, most likely your lecturer will teach you how to calculate, which is similar to what Encik Harry had shown just now. Okay. All right. So you have quite a little bit more subjects here in semester 1 as opposed to semester 2. Like I said, I hope you pass all these subjects with flying colors and then move on to semester 2. Semester 2, you have fewer subjects here. You still have the 4 core courses, academic reading, writing, listening, speaking, and grammar 2. But you have 2 extra subjects here not included in the calculation of CGPA UPU, which are language and drama, as well as Islamic education and ethics and education. So you've got these 2 subjects not included, but you still have the 4 core courses. If, let's say, for example, Harry mentioned earlier, if you fail one of the subjects in semester 1, what happens? Remember, you should be here. We want you to only be here 2 semesters. You are going to carry that paper from semester 1 into semester 2. So while your friends are only doing 6 subjects, you may have to do 7. If you fail 2, you will have to do more than that. And it is challenging, all right? Because, for example, when we talk about language and drama, you have to, you're not just listening listening to or reading scripts, right? You have to actually go up on stage and act. So you need to rehearse for that. That takes up a lot of time. So if you had failed one of the subjects or more in the first semester and you have to carry it into the second semester, it will definitely be challenging. So I'm hoping that by showing you this, you should be able to tell yourself that, right, let's do one step at a time. Semester 2, these are the subjects we must pass and excel with all the subjects in semester 1 without having to go into semester 2. Right? So these are the subjects, a total of 50 credit hours. Textbooks. You have to buy textbooks starting from the first week of the semester. The cost is around 350 or 400 or less, which is only an approximate. How do you get it? You'll be informed by lecturers, but it is not compulsory for you to get it from us. If you can get it, if you would like to get it elsewhere, or if you already have it, but please make sure that you get in touch with your lecturers, because I am aware that some lecturers have changed their textbooks. So you don't want to buy old books and realize that's not the book that you're supposed to use in class. So please make sure that you come for the first class, because that's where lecturers will show you this is the book. All right. So if you have no other avenues, then your lecturer will help you out with that. But if you can can find it at Kinokuniya, or you can find it at MPH and so on, and then by all means do so. We're not making it compulsory to get it from us, but we are providing you that assistance. Okay, now most books are used for both semesters. So when you buy it for the first semester, in the second semester, I think you only have like one textbook, like a practice book, like a module. That's it. But the textbooks that you use that you have bought in the first semester will be used also in the second semester. So basically, when we talk about textbooks, you only buy it in the first semester. Okay. Remember, I talked about knowledge and understanding and so on and so forth. So I want to break it down into 2. We talk about lots and HOTS questions. I think many of you would have heard of KPP, right? So that's basically HOTS, higher order thinking skill questions. So that's what we have in our program. We focus on lots and HOTS. Remember, you're already A. You are our creme de la creme. So you're already A here. So we're trying to push you further. But of course, it doesn't mean that we're going to give you questions from degree studies or from masters or anything. No, the questions, the higher order thinking questions, are all related to your studies. What does it mean? When we talk about lots and HOTS questions, lower order and higher order thinking questions, we're talking about information transfer. That means when you're reading a text, you're given a text, would you be able to extract information given when we give you a question? If you can, then that means you know how to, skim and scan for questions. And we look at application of knowledge. We ask you, how is this relevant to you? Which is also opinion and as well as experience-based questions. So it is important that you remember this. It may be a skill-based program where we talk about honing your language skills. But when it comes to context, we also focus on context. We want you to be matured in responding to questions. So this means that you have to be able to apply what you have learned. For example, literature. You're reading a text, all right, a short story. And you read it, it shouldn't just be, the questions we ask are not just going to be, who are the characters? Where did it take place? What happened? We're not going to ask you just those questions. We do ask you those questions to make sure that you answer and you can answer and understand the flow of the story. But then we'll go a bit further. That's when we ask you, why do you think the character did that? Would you do that? Why wouldn't you? Or why would you? Who do you think in your life had influenced the way your mind is formed or shaped? Why do you respond like that? What are some of the pressures that you experience as the youth in Malaysia right now? So we ask you those questions as well. And the idea of that is for you to not just know what is in the book, but for you to be able to connect what is in the book as well as what is it that you have experienced. And then we go further by saying, well, if other people disagree with you, what do you think? What are you going to do? All right. Now, often a lot of my students, I teach literature, when I ask them, well, what if I don't agree with you? And I think what you're saying is not nice. Most students will say, I don't think it matters what you think. What matters would be what I think and what I do. Now, we're not living alone in this world, in this society. To some extent, there are certain times where we have to think of others. So that's what we're trying to get to. We're not saying don't think about yourself at all. Of course not. We're also not saying that think about others all the time. No, we're saying that let's look at the different situations when we should put ourselves first, and in a different situation, when should we put things in perspective and think about, maybe I should think about my friend first in this situation. All right. So what's in the book? Lots. Connecting it to your experience, getting into the higher order thinking questions, connecting it to other people's perspectives. That is definitely higher order thinking questions because you're required to sort of analyze and evaluate and so on and so forth. Okay, so don't have this perception that all we have to do is memorize grammar rules or memorize the 10 literary elements or just read text to answer reading comprehension questions. No. Or write or when it comes to writing classes, memorize. We don't have any of that. In writing classes, you are expected to talk because when you talk and bounce ideas off each other, then you would think about, oh, all right, I think I have a better idea than what I thought before, so I'm going to write that down. And then your lecturers are going to teach you on how to write it well. But it's not just you sitting down, listening and absorbing what your lecturers have to say. It is listening, absorbing, and responding. So get ready to speak. And we expect you to speak. You are all Tesl students. That's what people always have in mind. Oh, Tesl student, we say, dia tak ada masalah bercakap. And that is what the expectation that we have. All right. So don't be shy. Don't be afraid. Oh, she's better than me. I think she speaks so fluently and all that. It doesn't matter. We are all here to learn. Right? This is Bloom's taxonomy. I know. Don't tell yourself, right? Oh my God, this is too much. I just wanted to show you that this is the first three from the bottom. Remember, understand, and apply are considered as lower order thinking questions. Yours, higher order thinking questions would be analyze, evaluate, and create. Yeah. So if you look at this one, analyze, explore relationships, causes and connections. So a lot of that. Why do you think so? Why do you think the character did that? Why do we use present tense? You'll be thinking, ala grammar apa nak tanya-tanya. Oh, we ask you, we give you wrong questions, sentences with wrong grammatical grammar in it, and we ask you, where is the mistake? Now, many of us would say, that's a mistake. Why is that a mistake? It doesn't sound right. Okay, many of us be thinking, macam bunyi dia macam tak sedap. No, you cannot do that. You have to start saying, that's wrong because that is a fact. When it's a fact, we have to use present tense. And that's why understanding is important. Not just remembering, but also understanding. Okay? All right, let's move on. After you've done all that in the whole semester, when you're being assessed, of course, we look at the grades and the scores here. I'm hoping that you'll be able to get to, the A clusters. Of course, all lecturers, all teachers always think that way. We want you to be better than us. So we want you to get the A's, but no pressure, okay? No pressure in the sense that don't pressure yourself too much also. Sometimes a lot of students say, oh, I want to get an A, but then when they go to class, they realize, oh, it's too difficult. This is your first semester. Take it easy first. Come to class, keep an open mind, and tell yourself, okay, I can do this, one step at a time, baby steps, and tell yourself, oh, I can do this, I can do this. Your lecturers will tell you, these are the assignments that you have to do. You do all this, you'll be able to get this grade and so on and so forth. Okay, but these are the grades and scores, which I believe also Encik Harry had shown just now. Let's look at an example of how we calculate and how you get to the grade that you get, yeah? These are the components in which you will be assessed and will be calculated in order for us to get to the total mark as well as the grade here. So you have the midterm test, which you can see in your academic calendar, and it carries 20%. And let's say, for example, you got here 12 over 20. And then you have assignments 1 and 2, 15% each, and you've got 10 and 12 respectively. And then for the finals, which is 50%, you got 40 over 50. So we're going to add all that up, and you get a 74 over 100, and that is a B+. So you can, your lecturers will tell you, okay, our midterm is in week 7. So whatever we have learned from week 1 to week 6 will be covered in the midterm. So you should be able to plan. No, I'm going to study this. If you don't understand, ask, because it's 20% here right now. You're probably thinking, oh, 20%, but it's not. Yeah, it's 20%. Carries a lot. Every single mark matters. Okay, so you want to make sure that if you don't understand some of the topics, ask your lecturers. Set an appointment. Go for consultations. Don't wait for your lecturers to say, oh, if you have any questions, come and see me. At the end of the class, if let's say you don't have any other classes after that, you can always go and approach your lecturer and say, madam or sir, I have a question. Is it okay for me to ask you the question now, or should I set an appointment with you? Most lecturers, all lecturers will say, oh, you can set an appointment because I have class right now, I have a meeting, or yeah, sure, let's sit down. All right. We love students who ask us questions because we know that is you putting in the effort, trying to be the best. And we would very much like to be in the process of helping you to get good grades. We want you to leave the Asasi Tesl program feeling that you have learned a lot of things. Okay. This is just an example. Okay. Due dates of assessment. So we've got here right now, the lecturers would have given me this table and say for 014, which is reading, there's one in week 5, there's one and then you've got the midterm, and then there's one in week 10, there's one in week 14. So you want to make sure that you put it, like I said just now, if you have a book, a diary or your Google Calendar and so on and so forth, they want to put this all in, and so you can decide, okay, so this is week 5. So I, by week 3, I have to really focus on it. Week 1 and 2 is understanding it. By week 3, I should start working on it. While at the same time, if you look at week 5, you've got TSL 051, which is the college study skills. Also, something is due there. So make sure, like I said, have a book, have or a Google Calendar and so on and so forth to remind you of the due dates. Yeah, your lecturers will come in the first class and tell you the due dates for all your assignments. You should have a total of 4 assignments for each of your code. So that's a lot. Yeah. Okay, 4 times. Okay, I'm not very good. This is why I'm most of us are in Tesl, right? Because we're not good with maths, at least for me. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 4 times 6 is 24. Okay, I'm so proud of myself. I can give you the answer for that. So you've got 24 assignments due all over the semester. All right, let's go to the next one. Now you have Penasihat Academic Pelajar Seliaan or PAPS, and each group is assigned to a PAPS or mentor. Now for the TESL program, your mentor will be one of your lecturers. So you should be able to see your mentor anytime. Every week you'll be able to see them, him or her. All right, you have one PAPS, so you'll be able to see him or her. And so it should not be a problem for you to set an appointment to see them. What is the role? The role is to monitor your academic progress and discipline when it comes to attendance and submissions of assignments, course registration and validation, MCs to be given to the mentors and specific lecturers as well, and extracurricular marks. Okay, and the last one here, as you can see, a shoulder to cry on. For many of you, for some of you, this is the first time that you are here, so you may feel a little bit alone or lonely as well, because you don't have anyone else to turn to. You always have us. Okay, now you are not restricted only to your mentor. You can speak to any of the lecturers. You can speak to me, you can speak to another lecturer teaching you another subject. It doesn't always have to be your mentor. Okay, but your mentor is always there. Class rep and assistants, this would be something that you would have to identify and appoint by the first day of class. You and or the mentor will identify. And what do you need to do as class reps and assistants is to assist lecturers in communicating with group members after lecture hours, right? First semester, if you're class rep assistant, second semester, someone else will become. Now, I want to say something about classes, yeah? We always shuffle our classes. The first semester, let's say, for example, Harry talked about your groups. So let's say if you are in TO1, okay, that means you're in group 1. T refers to TESL, 01 is the first class, okay? Where no streaming whatsoever, it's just that you are in TO1, TO2, and so on and so forth. When we go into the next semester, we shuffle. Why? Because we want you to mingle. We want you to get to know people beyond your classroom. So I'm telling you now, this is going to be on YouTube, because every time at the end of the semester, students will say to me, say, "Madam, are you reshuffling our classes?" Yes, I am reshuffling the classes for that purpose, unless there's a reason. But so far, every semester, we've reshuffled, okay? So get used to the idea of having to be in a different class. You will have a great time with your current class, but always keep an open mind that you will also have a good time in another class. Get to know different people. These are also considered as soft skills, okay? The ability to accept change and adapt to changes. All right. There'll be class reps and assistant. How do we help you manage university life? In terms of academic responsibilities, we have academic consultations with mentors, end of the semester academic clinics. You know, we organize a clinic so that you can sit down with your lecturers in a hall where we talk about the final exam paper, we talk about what you need to focus on. And then we have the Asasi open day for you to determine, what do I want to do after Asasi? And so we have all these other faculties coming over here without you having to go all to the universities or go on websites and so on. You've got all the faculties coming over here. And so you can go to each of the booths and identify. So this is how we help you academically. Non-academic responsibilities, we've got the clubs and associations where you make friends. Make friends, yeah, I see a lot of students, sometimes they don't make friends. They're friends only with their classmates or their roommates or housemates. But go beyond that. It's okay to have a small circle of close friends, but you sometimes don't want to just depend on a small group of people, because sometimes they have other things that you need to do. You don't want to feel lost without them. Okay, the most important thing is not to feel lost. And then you have HEP activities, and of course you have counselors. This is very important, yeah. In school, I know a lot of people think if you go to a counselor, that means you are problematic. But here, no. Sometimes if you feel a bit overwhelmed, you don't want to talk to your lecturers, you don't want to talk to me, fine, it's okay. Set an appointment with a counselor and just say, I'm a little bit overwhelmed. I feel that I have a lot of things in my mind, but I don't know where to start. Your counselors, they are all certified counselors, should be able to help you deal with that feeling of feeling overwhelmed with how things are, and it's especially understandable in the first semester. Of course, in the second semester as well, because you feel there's more pressure. You're leaving Asasi. What do I want to do? A lot of things. So this is how we help you. We have clubs and we provide you these platforms. Yeah. Now, where to after Asasi Tesl? I talked about this just now. These are the various options in UiTM. You've got Faculty of Education, which is our main objective. But like I said, it's an open system. You can go into law. I know there are some TESOL students who had asked, can we go into law? Can we go into psychology? Can we go into business and so on and so forth? You are in social science right now, so you should be able to go into any of the social sciences. Can't go into sciences, but you can go into the social sciences. So that's why we have here Faculty of Law, Communication and Media Studies, Information Management, Business Management, Academy of Language Studies, and College of Creative Arts. These are all in UiTM. Yeah, I don't talk much about other universities because I think if they had changes, it wouldn't be right for me to post it here. Now, what is the minimum requirement for the BE at TESL program at the Faculty of Education for you, for Asasi TESL students? Pass all subjects, a CGPA of at least 2.5. For you, 2.5. For other students, not 2.5, yeah? And at least a B in 3 of the core subjects just now. Pass METC test and the Malaysian University English test or MUET just now with band 4. All right, so you want to look at, if you want to go into UKM, look what UKM is looking out for. If you're going to USM, you're going to UM and so on, you want to make sure that you know what they're looking for, and that will be your objective. Right, let's look at code of conduct. Study the materials before lectures, especially if your lectures have provided you with materials. Ask questions as you read and seek clarifications during lectures. Respond. Don't just be quiet. Yeah. Don't just say, I don't know. Come back to me, madam. Come back to me, sir, and not respond. You have to respond. When you respond, you are telling us what you have in mind. I mean, tell us what you have in mind. If it's not exactly, if it's not accurate, we can help you to be more accurate than that. We can help you out. So you got to say something. If you don't say something, you can't progress. Take notes, very important, because we can't remember every single thing. You've got to remember just now 6 or 7 subjects. And then please uphold ethics. Do not plagiarize, especially now with the advancement of AI tools, yeah, ChatGPT and so on and so forth. We encourage ChatGPT and all that to help you to learn better and all that, but not for you to produce an essay, for example, and call it yours. Okay, so that is unethical. Make sure at the end of the day, you remember this. At the end of the day, it is our ethics that will speak for us. Okay, you may be the smartest person in the world and all that, but if you have no ethics, one day people will know and people will say, okay, he's not that smart after all. That's not even right because he doesn't have ethics or she doesn't have ethics, yeah? So it's okay if you don't get A, but it is your own work. And we know, all right, you're at a B+, let's move towards an A minus. What are tips for success that I can give you, which I think are relevant to all of us here? First of all, you have to remember your God, family and parents, your guardians. Responsible and proactive, okay? Very important. You're not in school anymore. We can remind you, lecturers will remind you. Remember, you have an assignment due next week or 2 weeks from now and all that. But that's as far as we do. We don't ask you to sit down, do your work here right now, next to me and all that. You must know how to self-regulate, okay? Balance academic and non-academic obligations. Don't just be focusing on academic obligations. You can get a little bit too tired, you can get stressed out and all that. But don't go hoo-ha all the time. You have to find a balance between that. That's why we give you the dates and all that, so you know, okay, ni hari ni boleh hoo-ha, hari ni boleh jimba and all that. But hari ni, okay, this one, pagi boleh, but then petang I have to do this and so on and so forth. Nothing wrong. Enjoy your life here, but don't go too much into non-academic obligations that you lose your focus, which is for you to do well here academically. Okay, respect others. This is adab. You must have a thirst of knowledge. Don't say, oh, I don't like grammar, so I'm not going to enjoy it. If you see you're not going to enjoy it, of course you're not going to enjoy it. Keep an open mind. It's grammar. It's going to be different than how it was taught before this. So let's see how different it is. Let's say you find it still not interesting. You must find what makes it interesting. How is it relevant to you? Okay, you can't pass it all to the lecturers. You can't pass it all to your friends. You must go back to the second point, which is being responsible and proactive. Self-discipline. Wake up if you have 8 o'clock classes. Please come on time. If not earlier, come on time. Don't distract your friends. Don't distract your lecturers when they're talking and you're coming in. If you are late, please make sure that you have the respect. Please say sorry and quickly go to your seat. All right. These are tips, yeah, because berkat is also important. All right. If you're always late. Of course, some of your friends are like, oh, he's always late. She's always late. I'm distracting. I can't remember what the lecturer is trying to say. How do you expect to do well when in the process you had made it difficult or challenging for others? And of course, read. Too many of my students say, Madam, I do not like to read. You have to read. You are in university. I'm not talking about Tesl. I'm talking about you are a student, a university student. Read is important. All right. You are what you read. What you speak is based on what you read as well. How you form opinions based on what you read as well. How do you know about other people's experiences? Because you have also read. It's not just, and when I talk about reading, I'm not talking about social media. I'm not talking about Twitter and all that. I'm talking about actual books. Read books, short stories, and so on and so forth. If I may share with you some of the things here, yes, some of the sayings that I find most important. Education is not the learning of facts, but the training of the mind to think. You must learn to use your brain to think and not just, absorb and memorize points and just give it. And when we tweak it a little bit, you just are lost. The mind is for thinking purposes. You may be thinking, oh, it's just grammar, but it's about training your mind to think so that you thinking becomes second nature to you. Every time you say, what do you think? Immediately you know, oh, I know how to think. And it's not just about thinking about grammar, it's also thinking about issues happening around you and so on and so forth. The brain education is for you to train your mind and brain to think, okay? You don't learn to walk by following rules. You learn by doing and by falling over. Now, I'm not saying that break all the rules. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying there are certain things where if you follow the rules, you will definitely get it. No, it's trying to say that when you follow the rules, despite following the rules, you may still fail, for example. You may still not do as well. You may think that I had learned like crazy, I studied like crazy, but I only got a B+. Okay? You get an A for effort, but the B+ is based on what you have learned, what you have studied. And that simply means that you have to accept the fact that I have fallen over. Now I need to get back up and look at the different ways to do things. All this while I thought read and memorize would be the way, but no, it's not. Now I have to think of other ways. That's why we have college study skills, where you will look at your learning styles, how you will learn best. Is it through lectures or is it through writing and so on and so forth? And finally, I like this, the best among you are those who bring greatest benefits to others. Why are you here? You are here because, of course, short term, I want to do my degree and so on and so forth. But with the knowledge you have here at Asasi, and then you go into your undergraduate studies, you will contribute towards the development of self, the development of people around you, the development of the society, the development of the country. Then when you develop all these here, yourself and the people around you, you are contributing positively. And that is the best thing that you need to do for yourself, that you want to be able to contribute positively to others, right? And so I have come to the end of my briefing. I hope you feel lucky to be here, regardless of whether you are here because your mom wants you to be here, your dad wants you to be here, you're not sure. You are here, all right? You are already here. Make the best of it. Not everyone who had applied got to be where you are here today. And when we took you in, we believe that you can do it. some of you will experience a lot of challenges, some of you, and you have different challenges, but it's all right. That's all part and parcel of life. Enjoy your new adventure, your new life here. And we are always here if you have anything you want to talk about. And at the end of the day, for us, enjoy yourself and learn. This is what you're supposed to be doing here, yeah? Excel academically. All right? And be a person, a whole person, wholesome person. All right? Thank you so much, guys, for listening. I've come to the end of my briefing. Itu saja, Encik Rizal.
Okey. Terima kasih kepada Puan Norhashima Mohd Sukor, Ketua Pusat Pengajian Asasi Tesl di atas penyampaian taklimat sebentar tadi. So, saya tak dapat nak cakaplah bahasa Inggeris juga. Okey. Tadi sebenarnya ada, sekejap saya tengok dekat grup apa tu? Oh, thank you sebab saya tengok ada banyak soalan-soalan tu dah diberikan jawapan, and then diorang sangat-sangat berterima kasih. Kami ada banyak peminat lah, Madam.
Oh, ya ke?
Congrats, thank you, I love you, wow. Okay, program hangat kali ni. Okay, jadi soalan pun tak ada apa soalan nak ditanya. Cuma apa yang nak saya katakan, sekiranya ada sebarang persoalan bolehlah WhatsApp kami ataupun grup, boleh juga WhatsApp kepada kerana program Asasi Tesl yang baru diberikan tadi, tapi sementara ini belum ada WhatsApp saya ataupun mana-mana dah dalam grup SCA tu boleh tanya, nanti kami akan sampaikan kepada Mohs lah. Okay, terima kasih kepada kami. Jadi saya sudahi, boleh kita sudahi majlis kita petang ini dengan tasbih kifarah dan selawat.
Terima kasih juga Encik Rizal.